that got loose. So when somebody spilled the beans, the secret got out. And I would say when you spill the beans, there's a lot more details than when you let the cat out of the bag. Because there's only one cat. And when you let those beans out of the bag, there's more than one bean. There's a lot of beans. So spill the beans, letting go of a big secret. Another one?
Future.
Did someone else have a question?
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Gracie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's
Good.
not rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. All right. Does anybody know a rocket scientist? If you knew a rocket scientist, you would know that they know a lot of math and they know a lot of physics. And their head is very full of science stuff, okay? It's not rocket science means it's not hard. This is not hard. We're not studying physics. We're having fun. Idioms are fun compared to rocket science. Now, it could also be related to, it'll come to me and I will put it on a slide next time. It's not rocket science. Oh, it's not brain surgery. So it's not rocket science is related to it's not brain surgery. So both those things, rocket science and brain surgery, those are really, really tough jobs. Okay, who's next?
Hello. I have a
Hello.
question.
Yes, Oliver.
Question is, don't beat around the bush.
Oh, now, Oliver, someone else is going to be able to help you. I just know because we went over this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a day when you were not there. Does anyone remember? Don't beat around the bush.
Yes. Don't beat around the bush mean you don't change this.
The subject.
Don't change the subject.
Yeah, get to it.
Yeah.
Get to it.
I got it.
Okay, so hey, Yoon, do you remember the word picture that we used? Do you remember the reason for that saying? Do you remember the story?
Yeah.
And tell us about that story if you can remember it.
About beating around the bush?
Yes, it's about hunting, and the hunters brought beaters.
I don't remember yet. Sorry.
Okay, so okay, go with me for a minute. The hunters were hunting small game, small animals, not big animals, but small animals. And these small animals would hide in the bush. So the hunters brought what they called beaters, people that would beat around the bush, and they would slam on they would beat on the ground, scaring the little animals out from the bush, but they would not hit the bush. Okay, so Oliver, what this means is when we're beating around the bush, we're going around the subject, we're going around the problem, we're going around the topic rather than hitting it on the head. We're going around and around and around the bush rather than getting right to it. Okay, so that's beating around the bush.
Yes, thank you.
Next up,
Hello.
yes.
Teacher, I want you to say that don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Okay. Thank you, Gracie. That's a really good one. That's a farming one. Does anybody have chickens?
Yes, I have in a farm.
Okay. Don't count your chickens. And do you get a lot of chickens or do you just have a few chickens?
A few chicken.
Okay. Once upon a time, I worked with a young man whose parents ran a chicken farm, a chicken ranch. I mean, we are talking lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of chicken. So many, okay, that they took orders for chicks, baby chickens. So they would get the eggs and they would put them in the incubator, okay? And at a certain point, they would collect up those eggs. They haven't hatched yet now, guys. They would collect those eggs and they would mail them. They would put them in the mail in a box. Well, they knew that there were going to be some of those eggs that didn't hatch. So the order was for, let's say, 20 chicks, and they would have to put in 25 or 30 eggs in that box in order to have 20 chicks that got to the place, because not every egg hatched. All right. So don't count your chickens before they hatch is a shortcut way of saying don't count on that money before it's in the bank. Don't count on that money before it's in the bank. Don't count on, you know, getting that grade before you've actually gotten that grade. All right, which one's next? Who's next?
Teacher, I have one question.
Sure. How are you?
Can I ask? Oh yes,
Yes, you may.
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Is you I want to know the meaning. You can judge a book by its cover.
All right. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Don't judge a book. Okay. Now, has anybody remembered me talking about this before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to answer that question? Hey, Yoon, would you like to answer that?
Yes, but don't judge a book by its cover. When we met someone, we cannot know the his or her personality, right? And we
Right.
cannot know that he is a good or he's a bad person. So we
Yep.
cannot see this by his wearing clothes or like their cover, his cover.
Right.
So yeah, we cannot judge.
Very good. That's right. You can't judge a book by its cover. I've had many, many books that I have gotten out of the library, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a great book. and I got into it, and not such a good book. And then I've gotten other books that are just plain and really didn't look too good. But when I got into it, it was great. So you can't just judge a person by the way they look. Some days my hair looks good, and some days it just doesn't. And some days I have on a great jacket, and another day I don't. So we can't judge a person by what they're wearing, by what kind of purse they have, by what kind of shoes they've got on their feet or not. Don't judge a book by its cover. Thank you for that one, Grace.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, teacher.
Did you have another one, Grace?
No, it's enough.
Okay. Who's got another question?
Yes,
So
Chair.
I'll add, yes, I'm here.
By it you can choose bite as much as you can chew.
Oh, don't bite off more than you can chew. So,
Yeah.
okay. So don't, I'm writing it down real quick. Bite off more. All right. I'll tell you a funny story. So once upon a time, we took out my future son-in-law and we took him out to eat at a steak restaurant. And he was so excited about having steak, and we were having a great meal. And he took and he cut off this monstrous piece and he was chewing it. Well, the problem was that the waiter came by and asked him if he wanted something else. And he did want something else, but he had taken too much of a bite, so he couldn't answer. He had bit off more than he could chew. So a really big bite is not a good idea. Small bites are better because, you know, you want to be able to enjoy your conversation while you're having dinner. Don't bite off more than you can chew. So this is related to being overcommitted, having too many things that you're doing, too many projects that you're trying to get done at one time. And so let's just say when you come to college, and they expect you to take, let's say, 18 credit hours. That's a lot. That's more than you can chew in your first semester. Okay? You don't want to take more. You don't want to commit to more than you can reasonably do. Okay, anybody? So is there someone else that's got one?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, Gracie.
Yep. We will cross the bridge when we come to it.
Oh, that's a nice one. Don't cross the bridge until you get to it. Okay. So when we're talking about certain cities, hold on, I'm writing it down, Gracie. Okay, certain cities, and I'm sure you have these cities too, have many, many rivers, okay? And you'll have bridges, and here's a bridge, there's another bridge. Especially, well, I mentioned earlier that I lived around New York City, and I had to cross bridges all the time to get back and forth to where my job took me. And so you can't cross the bridge until you get to it. You can't make a commitment until you've come right on top of it. Because you know what? When you get to that bridge, they might have closed the bridge. Or they might be diverting traffic because of an accident on that bridge. So don't cross the bridge. Don't make in your mind, don't get anxious about the situation before you get to it. So don't create an anxiety in your mind before you actually come to the situation, okay? Sometimes that situation will be completely diverted and you won't have to deal with it at all. Okay, who's got another one?
Me, teacher.
Please, Augustus, how are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty fine. And my question
Good.
is, which fish in the letter C?
Say that one again.
Big fish in a letter C.
Oh, big fish. Okay. So the term is big fish in a little pond. And it can go the other way, the opposite way too. All right. So big fish. The big fish in a little pond means that he's got the best of all worlds. He's got the pond all sewn up. He's the big fish. All right. He's gobbling up the little fish. But there's only so many places the big fish can go in a little pond. Now, flip it around. Little fish in a big pond. Which would you rather be? Do you want to be the big man on campus on a little bitty college? Or do you want to be a little person in a big college? So, my suggestion is find the right college, find the right pond. So big fish in a little pond actually ends up that he doesn't get very far because it's a little pond. He can't go very many places. So I'll actually go into more detail on that one, and I'll use that one for next time, okay? We'll go into the origin of that. My uncle used that when he was talking to us about what house that we should get. And he said, you don't want to be a big fish in a little pond, because then, you know, there's a very small area where people are looking for houses. So anyway, I will go into more detail with that on the next session. Hopefully I'll have my computer. All right, anyone else?
Hello.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I have a question. I want to know about sleep on it. What does it mean? Sleep on it.
Okay. When you're making decisions, sleep on it. Okay. So you're making decisions. Do you jump right on that decision and make that decision right away? Boom, boom. No, probably you're gathering information. You're looking here and looking there and trying to get information from this source or that source. You're gathering details, you're gathering facts. You put them all together and you sleep on it. You think about it. You wait to make that decision. You might pray about it. You might wait to make that decision so that When you make that decision, you know that that decision is a good decision for you. Sleep on it. Okay? Don't jump on the decision, especially big decisions in life. Don't jump on those decisions right away. Okay.
Okay. I have one more question.
Sure, as many as you like.
Drive someone at the wall.
Try that one again.
Drive someone at the wall. Drive someone at the wall.
I think I'm going to have to look that one up. Or write it down, put it in the chat.
Okay.
Because there are several idioms about taking things to the wall. All right. And it's usually about frustration. And it's usually about, you know, drive someone up the wall. Okay, that's good. Drive someone up the wall. Okay. I see it now. All right. Well, let's see. Let's talk about a mouse. Have you ever seen a mouse run up the wall? It's not a fun sight. It's kind of creepy. Okay. So when we had a problem with mice in our basement, and we got them going and we were trapping them like crazy. And on this one account and one occasion, my husband was catching them and he drove the mouse up the wall. The mouse actually ran up the wall and then out a little hole in the brick. So that person who is driving you up the wall is making you a little crazy. That person is making you crazy. He's driving me up the wall. It's a frustration idiom where you might be so frustrated with a project or a paper and you're not really sure of what to do next. It's a frustrating moment. It's driving you up the wall. So it's a frustrating feeling. Does that help a little bit more? Oh, I love this one. Okay. I see on the chat, nothing is certain but death and taxes. Nothing is certain. All right. So in America, we've had an election recently. And recently, our election was up in the air. And we really didn't know who was going to win in certain places. But nothing is certain but death. We know death comes to everyone. And we know that everyone everywhere pays some amount of taxes. So those two things are certain, death and taxes. Who's going to win an election is not certain. Sometimes even if the stoplight works on the corner is not certain. So be aware, keep your eyes open. All right, let's see. And I also see on here, make a mint. That means make a lot of money. The place where money is made is called a mint, M-I-N-T. Money is printed at the mint. coins are made at the mint, M-I-N-T. So to make a mint is to make a lot of money. Let's see, was there another one? All right. Well, is there anyone else who has questions?
Yes, teacher.
Lydia, how are you?
Good. What's the what mean is the
I'm listening.
cross and late.
Try again.
Cross and a leak.
I'm not hearing very clearly. Would you put that in the chat?
Okay. No.
Did someone else hear that more clearly than me?
Hello.
Lynn, did you hear that?
I want to know idioms. Corn is.
Cornish?
Corn's egg.
I'm going to ask you to put that in the chat too.
Yeah, sorry. Cross and in here leak. Okay. You cannot write. I don't know why.
Oh, coon's age. Okay. All right. That means a long time because we have an animal called the raccoon. I'll do that one on the next session because he's a handsome creature. He is very, very smart. He can also live a long time. Not as long as turtles, but a raccoon can live a long time. Fall on deaf ear. Okay, oh, that's a good one.
And another one is the hit the hay.
Oh, hit the hay. Okay. All right. So, I'll do fell on deaf ears first. When you're talking to your mom and you say, Mom, I want this or I want that or I want the next thing and I want this or I want that. And mom is acting like she's not hearing you. That fell on deaf ears. She's not listening to you. Okay? That fell on a deaf ear. So the next one I heard was hit the hay. So way back when we were a very agricultural country, we made our mattresses from hay. And when we hit the hay, we went to bed. Hit the hay. It also came from, then you'll also hear an idiom or a saying that goes, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. bed bugs came into hay, and the hay mattress would be suspended on ropes, not on the floor. It was lifted up off the floor and suspended on ropes. So when you sleep, when you say to someone, sleep tight, the ropes are tightened up so that your bed is not squishy or soft. Okay. We have had a lot. Oh, call the shots. Very good. So that would be like the boss. The boss is going to call the shots. The coach of, let's just say, the basketball team or the baseball team or the soccer team, they're going to say to the players, we're going to go out and do this or that or the next thing. You're going to throw the ball. You're going to kick the ball. You want to hit the ball. That is calling the shots. They're in charge. The coach is in charge of how or what they do with that play. And so that would be your boss, wherever you're working. They call the shots. They're in charge, and they're going to tell you what to do. And I would say, for an example, we're out of such and such, let's just say, that particular meat for the day. And the manager says, hey guys, we don't have such and such a meat today. Please suggest to people that they get this other dish instead. That would be calling the shots. Have a good evening, and thank you so much, for coming. I appreciate that. Candle in the wind. Oh, that's a really good one, Rebecca. Candle in the wind is implying that the person's life ended too soon. There was a really nifty song about Candle in the Wind, and that particular song was played at Princess Diana's funeral, because the singer was singing that song in tribute to her. Her life was cut short early. Candle in the Wind. It was very sad, actually. It is a sad song. Candle in, you can't keep the candle lit in the wind, can you? The candle goes out. All right, well, I think we are doing pretty good. We've had a lot of questions today. I've got a whole page full